This is the DNA Pest Control Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Anthony.
All right. I hope everybody's weekend was going great or was good. So all those texts, a shout out for the Saturday Warriors out there working on Saturday. I was out there with you guys. So if you haven't listened, real quick, this is Daniel with the DNA Pest Control Podcast. But if you guys haven't listened to the pre-ag inspection podcast, I suggest go back and listen to that. So yes, we were inspected here by the ag department. It wasn't actually as bad. She did a great job. I'm not going to name names. There's multiple counties. There's multiple ag departments that we work in as well. So shout out to her. She did a great job. There are a few things that I'm going to talk about that hopefully if they listen, they can get this fixed and corrected because I would like it a little bit different. I did hear she was new, so, so it went well. So we had two different inspections. If you're out of state, in the state of California, they're very, very strict here. So one is an ag license or a QAL. It's by the DPR. It's a whole separate license, okay? I talked to about this a couple episodes ago, but there's a couple different licenses that you can get in California to spray pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and the QAL license essentially allows you. Now, within the QAL license, there is a ton of categories. I think it's like A to K or J or something. And so we have A and B, which allows us to essentially, we can do ag treatments, weed control, so herbicides, things like that. Now, when it came to the ag inspection, we passed. Everything was fine, which was kind of interesting because some of the same things are on here, but I don't know why they wouldn't mark me for that, but mark me for this. But I'm not complaining. I passed the ag one. I'm happy, okay? Also in the state of California, if you want to spray a structure, you have to get a structural pest control license, okay? Within that license, there's 3 categories. Technically 5. The basic license just to get in and spray, just to have a worker. They can't identify. They really can't do anything. Those are applicators. Nothing falls on their head. The guy who got inspected, he was an applicator. Nothing comes back on him. He essentially just gets slapped on the wrist. Hey, you need to tell your manager to teach you better type of thing. And then there goes branch 1, branch 2, branch 3. Now, don't get those confused. Just because you have a branch 3 doesn't mean you're better than a branch 2. They're different categories. So one is fumigation, one is termites, one is just pest control, general bugs, which is the branch 2, which majority of people here have. That's just so you can identify insects. You can actually do a lot more. You can sell. You can do things like that. Then there's an operator's license. So the operator's license, you can have your branch 2, branch 3, branch 1, and that operator's license, which allows you to run a business. So I have the operator's license in the branch 2 category, because I'm the owner of the company. And so they run under my license. So everything comes back onto me and the company. So when they did the pest control business, not the ag side of the business, the pest control business, there was a few things. If you're in California, guys, get your shit in order. One thing is we just actually moved not too long ago. And so with that move, we actually put everything, so not to bring over a ton of documents. I mean, we had boxes and boxes. We had 5 years of crap or 6 years of crap just in boxes. So we scanned everything. Well, the unfortunate thing is the person that was working here before, I fired her. She sucked. So I don't know where some of those documents are and what she categorized them as or what they're under or anything. So it was really interesting as they were asking for stuff, but they focus so much on a freaking respirator, okay? I don't know why the respirator is so damn important, but good God, they could not put the respirator away. Everything else they didn't even care about. But man, that respirator, woof. So if your guys use respirators, you got to have everything. You have to have the respirator program. You have to have that they checked it every year. You have to have a ton of stuff in order, and you have to have the history of it. So make sure if your guys use respirators, they are up to date, current, and they have all that information. Because if they don't, they're going to ding you. We didn't have one paper, okay? One piece of paper. This is crazy to me, especially during this whole pandemic and everything. Everybody's super lenient. Even the IRS is being lenient. But good God, the ag department cannot be even just a tiny bit lenient, right? So one piece of paper for a respirator for one of my guys, he did not have in his file. We had the last year's. We didn't have this year's in that file. And so we had to go dig for it. We found it after she left, but so she marked me down that we didn't have the respirator protection for an employee. And then because I didn't have that, she also said that, let's see, what was it? Right here. Oh, so the pest use records available, no. So she marked me down no for that because one piece of paper was missing. Now, I'm not going to tell them how to do their job. They have a point to their job, and I think it's very important in the pest control industry. Their job is to make sure that we are treating, using these pesticides in a safely manner for the environment and for, everybody in the community. So I don't disagree with anything that they do or what they've done. But I do see where, when a company has everything and they're missing one piece of paper that they can get done or they can find or whatever, there needs to be some lenience there. There needs to be, some communication to say, hey, look, you don't have this piece of paper. This is important. This is why it's important. I'm not going to mark it down, but you do have to send it to me. So I'm going to mark yes on everything, but I'm going to put it in the notes that you have to send it within 2 weeks. If you do not send it within 2 weeks, I'm going to mark no on it, and you're going to get fined. If we had a conversation like that, that would make so much more sense. But the fact that they don't even communicate the importance of what they're writing down or why blows my mind. The inspection itself should be a learning experience. It should be a help to the companies, because if we were gone, their department would disappear. They wouldn't have as many workers as they do. It'd be gone. There'd be no money funded there. So for them to just come in and not educate anybody kind of blows my mind. It kind of pushes me back on why. Why wouldn't you take that opportunity to teach us how to do a better job, be a better company, be better technicians, keep our records better, be safer, and now everybody's happy because the safer we are, the better the employees are going to do, and everybody's going to be happier. The customers are going to be happier, and the environment's going to even be in better shape. So take that opportunity. I mean, that's the whole point of their job is to make sure that we're doing it in the correct manner that the law states. It's just like a cop when he pulls you over. You're doing, 85 and a 65. You need to slow down. You're being reckless. You could cause a wreck. You could spin out. You could do whatever. They take that time to kind of get that into your head that you need to stop speeding. You're not putting yourself at risk. You're putting everybody at risk around you. So they take that time to educate, but I know the police aren't getting a good rep right now, but at least they educate, right? So even then, so they hit us on that. They also hit us on, let me see here. Oh, notice to occupant and registered in county. Okay, registered in county is another thing I got an issue with. We moved beginning of this year. Like I said, everything was kind of jumbled up. We switched employees right at the beginning of the year. Some stuff got kind of swept under the rug. We didn't send in the license, the $10. Oh my goodness, the $10 to spray. But we didn't send it in until February. So once they sent us a notice, we sent it in right away. We didn't wait. We didn't anything. It was literally, we got the notice. Hey, you haven't paid. Boom. Every county sent out records. We're ready to go for next year. So we do all this, and they come in October, the 21st, and they mark us down for not being registered in the county. We have been registered in your freaking county for 8 months. Not 10, sorry, but 8. Why wouldn't you mark us no for that in the beginning of the year when you asked us to pay? Why would you mark me down now? I am registered in your county. I am currently registered in your county. You can't mark no for that. The inspection is done today. It wasn't done in January, February. I am registered now. And if you're going to mark me down or fine me, which I haven't got any fines yet, but if they fine me for that, I'm going to come after them. I'm going to be pissed. So, which I already am. I already have a hearing, and I'm going to go to, and they're going to hear, a little bit more from me then, because I don't agree with how they can, fine you 2 weeks later. 15 days pass. They can send me the report within hours, but they can't send me a fine for 15 days. That's crazy. Not even that, actually. Let's back it up. She submitted the fine. So she mailed it 15 days later. It didn't get to us until almost 3 weeks later. That's crazy. A month can go by, almost a month to fine us. That's nuts to me. So if you guys are going to do that, on the ag department, you got to do it in the right manner. There's got to be a better way for that. There's no way that you guys have no time. You can come into my office, you can spend 2 hours here looking at stupid crap and go and look at bottles that have labels on them that are brand new and check them like they're illegal. I'd literally just pull them out of a box and there's not even a scratch on them. But you can't take the time to send me a fine the same day? I don't get that. But, okay. I got to breathe here. I'm getting all worked up. So they marked me no unregistered. So just to kind of go through real quick, guys, maybe I'll just I'll take a screenshot and I'll send kind of what they do and the requirements, just the codes and everything so you guys can see. So to go through, so they need emergency med care planned, change area, which we have, proper storage of PPE, HAZCOM training, hazard communication, so written training program, handler training, written program, respirator protection, written program, respirator protection, medical evaluation. I have a ton on respiratory. This is crazy. Fit test for the respiratory. They need respirators inspected, respirator storage, voluntary use display, which I don't know what that is, but that was an NA for us. And then the respirator protection, employers ensure employees use approved respirator equipment. Let's see, they have monthly PUR submitted. Yes, respirator or registered in county. We got no on that, which is stupid, but make sure that you send that in January. It's due January 1. How that is even freaking possible blows my mind. No one even works on the 1st of January. But anyway, apparently they're going to start accepting stuff in December. Guess what? We're sending that shit in December now. Every year, the $10. So they can't say crap to us anymore. But we'll see with the whole pandemic because we've sent stuff in and we've never even got stuff back. So we even sent it in and they were supposed to send us a receipt back and they never did. She even asked for it. She was like, "Oh, do you have the receipt?" And I'm like, "We have everything right there. We have the check. I can show you the check and it was cleared. So you tell me, why didn't you guys send it?" But they will mark me no. They don't have to send anything, but I sure do. Structural Pest Control Board registration. Yes, we do have qualified branch supervisor. Yep. Pesticide use records available. They marked me no, but yes, we had everything but one piece of paper. Fumigation log, that's if you fumigate. We do not. So pest use records kept 3 years. Yes, we do have that. which is weird. Why would they mark me no on that? But because if I don't have the pest records available, I wouldn't have kept them for 3 years. So it should have been a no. Anyway, it's kind of weird. Notice to occupant, they also marked me no on that. The reason why they marked me no to notice to occupant, okay, so everybody who's in the state of California, so the law is very interesting. You know, they're very particular on some things and they don't really give a shit about other things. So one thing is on your contract itself, it needs to have there's a statement that we have to have on the contract, and then you have to have the phone number of the health department in all your counties that you're working in. You have to have the phone numbers for every ag county that you're working in. So if it's got to be 3 pages, you better add those phone numbers. You better add that stuff in there because they hit me on that, that we didn't have that on a document. But we had it on all of our door tags that we leave at the end of the service. So, which again is kind of weird that they wouldn't allow that. But anyway, so in the state of California, it's kind of just a custom to leave a door tag, which I learned now kind of why they do that. So the reason why everybody was leaving door tags, I'm assuming in the past, is because they didn't have an electronic way to send them that information. Once we could send an electronic document with all the chemicals and all that information that the customer gets, we no longer have to actually put a door tag on the door if you have all the chemicals on there. Now, if you switch up a chemical, you have to send them that information of the new chemical and let everybody know, hey, we're using a different chemical now. So it's not really ideal to switch chemicals on anybody, really, because it's going to be a headache if they come in and they really want to get you on that. But in the state of California, you technically do not have to send or put a door tag on any doors. And if you do, there are some key information that you have to have on that door tag if you're not going to email them. But if you do email them, the door tag itself actually does not matter what you have on it. It's just kind of a above and beyond thing. So we made a really simplified small door tag so people know that we sprayed. But that's it. We didn't go, extra on it, which she said if we don't email them that stuff, that door tag's actually illegal, which was a really good help. But I had to get this out of her. But she didn't even care about the door tags themselves. So the door tags themselves are meh. Doesn't matter. You don't even have to have them. They just need the email. As long as we have proof that they got that email, you don't have to leave anything. But we leave door tags because people don't know if we sprayed, if we don't leave a door tag. So it's just kind of a good practice. Here you go. We left it. We did the job, blah, blah, blah. But so the notice to occupant is in the contract. You need to have the statement of, the structural pest control statement. I'll tell you real quick. She has it here. State law requires that you be given the following information. Caution, pesticide or toxic chemicals. Structural pest control companies are registered, blah, 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 blah. Also, they need to have all the ag county commissioner office and phone number on there as well. So if you do not have every county, don't think just because you're only, you work in one county that covers all the other counties. All the other counties, if they stopped you and they inspected you, they could actually come in and hit you on that stuff. Just a heads up on that. So they marked us no. We already fixed all that. We already sent everything out. It's all taken care of. We did this all the same day. Oh, actually, on that one, we had to do it the next day because we had to add a few stuff. So we did this within 24 hours, which wouldn't surprise me if they end up sending something in 2 weeks or even a month saying, oh, by the way, you're getting fined for that. So then pesticide storage containers secured. We do. So you do, I don't know how every company does it, but you have to have a place where they can be actually locked up. So make sure that has it. So then you need a posted warning /danger. And on here, it doesn't say it, but it should be up to 25 feet. So we did a big old freaking sticker on the door that goes up to the shop area so they wouldn't say anything to us. and she didn't. So that was good. I don't plan on taking it down, but yeah, it was kind of funny. I heard threw that up there because we have it on the actual metal shelving that we have. That's all locked up, but on the door we don't. And then containers labeled, which we do. Service container labeling, yep, we have all that. Proper containers, we do. We're fine because they're all brand new. They come in that. And then containers properly rinsed. We just have a little corner of the shop where we rinse everything, but guys can actually rinse it out there. One thing that she did mention is if your guys triple rinses if they triple rinse the bottle out in the area, they can actually pull everything off of that bottle, cut it out in the area, and then they can actually just leave it in the back of their truck. It doesn't have to be labeled. It doesn't have to be locked or stored away. It just has to be properly rinsed and cut and everything. So here in California, you got to triple rinse. You got to take off the caps, throw those away. You got to take off the label, throw it away, and you got to cut an X in it. So it's not usable. So you have to make sure that that's done. And then aerosols are a little bit different. You have to actually break off the nozzle, wrap it in newspaper, and dispose of it that way so no one knows what it is, type of thing, and they can't, use it or try to get the chemical out of it. But other than that, we did pretty good. She did say that she was impressed with everything that we had. Everything was in order. We were really trying to get, everything to her as fast as possible. So, we're trying to stay in compliance here. We're not looking to break the law. We're not looking to have problems. We're not deliberately trying to do any of that. We want to follow as close to the law as possible. And so, that's where I say, as an ag department, you guys need to come in and make it educational for us. You need to come in and say, hey, I don't even care if you set one up every year. If you come in every single year, you schedule with all the pest control companies, and you have an ag guy going out to every single facility and checking a truck and checking a building. I mean, that alone is going to help everybody out staying on top of everything. We don't want fines. Let me back up. I want to follow everything so we're not having any issues. Now, I can't speak for every company, but we're trying to stay in compliance as best as possible. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to go back, behind the ag's back. There's really no benefit. It doesn't do anything for me if I do that. On my conscience. No, actually, even then. But, there's no reason behind it. Our service is the best service that we're giving our clients. We're following the label. We're doing exactly what we should be doing. We want to follow everything. We want to put everything that we need to in front of the customer so they understand the dangers of pest control, and also the benefits of pest control. And that's what we need to do, especially in times like these, where everyone thinks pesticides are cancerous and all this crazy stuff, which some are, but nothing that we use, at least per California, we have to worry about any cancerous products. And so, a lot of the products now, depending on how we're spraying, they're fairly safe. They're actually, they're a lot better than what they were, if they're used in the proper manner. If they're not, that's where we get screwed. And I see that with guys throwing, contract up into attics or throwing contract underneath, household structures, you're doing things that are eventually going to come back and bite somebody. Once you get a non-target pest dying, or rodent dying, then that stuff comes back on us. We're already seeing it. There was a big thing in LA where a lion was, I think, eating animals that actually got contract. So they were getting rodenticide into their system. I don't think it was contract. I shouldn't throw them under the bus. But they were getting rodenticides in their system, and then this mountain lion died, and they did an autopsy on it, and there was rodenticides in its system. They didn't they tried to make it seem like they died from rodenticides, but from all the experts that I've talked to, I went to a few classes and things like that. They all said no, it's impossible that animal died from the rodenticides. There's just not enough, and even after it goes through a whole system of a rodent, there's not enough in there, to affect it. Now it might still be in the system of that animal, but that's not the reason why that animal died. But anyway, the animal ended up dying. They did the autopsy, everything blew up, and so now the state of California is looking to get rid of all rodenticides. And from my understanding, they've already taken rodenticides off of state properties, which I've heard they're having a ton of issues with because the rodent population is just exploding because there's no poison. And you can set up a ton of traps, but you're only killing one if you kill them. And then if they get trap shy, what are you going to do? So there's kind of interesting on some stuff that's happening. But I don't even know why I got sidetracked on that. Because everyone's just doing their own thing anyway. So we need to do our part. We need to be as safe as possible. And I just would like the ag department to teach us, to be more involved with us and not so strict on the side of we're just coming in and looking to fine you. We don't care. We're not going to really tell you to change anything. We're just going to fine you. But more taking the approach of, hey, we're here to educate you. And we're going to educate you on every single thing. Like, this was my first inspection. I've never had, now so the business has been inspected. This is the second time, but I was not the owner at the time. So this was my first inspection that I actually got to go through with this lady. And it was a good learning experience, but I was pulling everything out. I was trying to get everything in, I'm asking questions. I'm trying to get all that information. Now, I did ask her, she is willing to come onto the podcast. She just needed to get permission from her boss, but her boss actually did reach out to me. So I'm going to call him, and hopefully we can get him on here and we can get down to the nitty gritty on some of these laws and what they're doing. And maybe I can convince this guy to educate his team a little bit on the importance of education, just like we push onto our clients that they need to do their part, but we also need to do our part with the ag looking down on us. So hopefully he'll come on. And we'll kind of go from there. I also have another guy that I'm going to talk to. He is going to talk about, speaking of rodenticides, the laws and everything that are coming out. I'm going to reach out to him as well, and we'll get him on the podcast, hopefully sooner than later. But I hope you guys liked the episode. I know I kind of got worked up there for a little bit. I hope you you stayed in there with me. But use everything that I just mentioned. If you need to go back and listen, please do. It's going to help you guys out if you are going to go get inspected or there is an inspection coming up with the ag department. Just make sure everything's in line. Do your part to be the best. Don't cut corners. Be smart about it. There's no reason to cut corners. There's so many products that allow us to do so many different things. We don't have to in this industry. We really don't. So just do your part, guys. But I hope you liked the post ag inspection podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.